All right, welcome back to Survivor Tocantins.
Here we are
That's right.
in the midst. Episode 8.
In the midst, yeah.
Crazy.
I feel like it
In
was
the
a
midst.
couple not so exciting episodes. The last couple,
Uh-huh.
we had
Yeah.
what
Rogue
happened last
survivors.
time?
Well, last time, Sydney got voted out last time.
Yeah, so
it was
yeah,
hmm?
yeah. So Sydney, it really seemed pretty clear cut. Obviously, they're gonna
Mm,
show some other stuff to give us some doubt.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was pretty clear cut. The vote before that was Spencer. That was a pretty boring one. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what else happened?
Uh, Joe seems to have bought the fake idol, so he thinks
Oh,
he's
yeah,
got
you
the
scooped
idol.
that up.
He scooped it up. Coach burned some beans.
That's right.
That happened. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on
Yeah,
on the
whether they would tell JT about the idol
yeah, some stuff about that, and then eventually you got to loop him in on that pretty much,
because JT looked in the
because
bag. Yeah.
GT just happened to look over and it's like, oh wow, it's in the top of the bag there. There it is. Didn't have to dig hardly at all. It's just right there. Seemed pretty silly, but
It's like out of a movie. It's like, hey, can you grab my the thing I forgot in my bag? And they root around. It's like a loaded gun in there. It's like,
yeah, yeah.
what the?
What?
They're not who
Why
they
did she
say they
have
are
this?
they?
Why does she have this? What does this mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like a
It's like we're
little
on
note that says,
vacation.
and there's also like a note that says like I am a CIA operative or something.
Something
Like,
tells me she's not who she says she
she's
is.
not. She says, yeah.
Mm.
I'm a sleeper agent. Yeah, a couple of fun games last time.
Name one.
Tossing the pig pot.
All right. Is that what they call it these days?
Toss that pig pot around.
Toss the old pig pot.
You know what I mean. Yep, you get that, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, so JT, yeah, the drama, some of the stuff there is like, oh, maybe we'll turn on Taj. It's Steven technically is the one that has the idol, but
Right.
they didn't end up doing that. So
All right. Well, if you're new to the channel, I am a big Survivor fan, taking Alec through for the first time chronologically through the season. So you can go back on our channel and watch our coverage of every season up until now. And we do reactions every episode, week by week. And as always, you can click the link in the description to see the highlights of the reaction, and then come back afterwards for the discussion. There you have it, Joe, medically evacuated from the game. Then the tribal council postponed. I gotta say, for me,
yeah,
that's like one of my like the least I've cared about someone being medically evacuated.
I know.
I'm sorry,
I
Joe, but I just
that's
did not care
that is
about you
really.
at all.
I know that's really tough to say. I was gonna say most of the other ones are like have like weight and emotion behind a lot of them, but this one's just like, yeah, my thing's infected.
But like,
And then even when we're
yeah,
even then we're cutting back to him, he's explaining it. He's like, well, doctor said that, and he just repeats literally exactly what she said back
yep.
to us.
And it
Like,
just
wow, I mean, I want to live and I want to walk. So
and there's really been nothing this season that's maybe like, oh, I'm rooting for Joe. You know, it's like
yeah,
the least interesting one of the whole cast, probably.
yeah,
So it's like, okay, it's not the end of the
pretty much,
world.
yeah.
That does
So, but hey, Joe,
bring Jalapao down to 3. Even though
yeah.
it seems like they're like all tribe lines are blurred already. So
Yeah, for real. So that was the fun of this episode, is seeing all the twists and turns in
yeah,
terms of
because
what people are trying to do with alliances and everything.
you go into this thinking like, oh, they're down 4-6. That's not a great recipe for a merge. You know, they could just steamroll them, but we immediately get conspiring from Coach and Tyson with Steven and JT, and then they loop in Debbie as well. I mean, obviously that 5 benefits Coach and Tyson. They made sure to be like, we also want our +1, so we can have a little the 3 out of the 5 here,
Right.
but we want to battle with the Warriors, the
Warriors,
Alphas,
yeah, the Warriors and the
Warriors,
Alphas, yeah,
the Dragon Slayer himself.
yeah. Coach sees himself as this great orchestrator, but I actually see Tyson as kind of the more the mastermind of this. But
Mm. And we
um,
got a lot of Tyson. Some of my one of my favorite confessionals is his the one where he's talking about how he breathes like gives him a soft kiss on the
he
neck
cuffs Sick in the neck
and
and
like
breathe his feeling my breath on the nape of his.
yeah,
Yeah, that
so
was
good.
amazing. He had a couple of those
He has
great
some
ones.
good ones.
Another
Yeah,
one about Sierra. He's like, yeah, well, Sierra's. I don't
I
know
don't
why
know why
she's
she's
out here
here.
other than to give stupid people a chance that they can achieve something. I was like, wow, okay,
Yeah, killed it.
that's awesome.
We got well. This is the gold. Like we've been blue balled out of this gold for a couple episodes
Yeah,
because we've been stuck on the
it's
other
true.
tribe.
We had a freaking Coach O Fortuna moment. I mean, what that
Beautiful
was
start to the
the most
episode.
epic thing I've ever seen on Survivor. I was like,
Coursing
why?
through his veins, Io Fortuna.
Yeah, while he's flexing and meditating.
Yeah, we had some Coach Gold as well. Like
Hmm.
this is exactly what you want when you picture a coach coming into the merge.
Yeah,
He's
he's
gonna
the
give it
I love
gold.
him. He's one of the good old boys. He's one of the good old boys. I love him.
Good old
He's
boys.
a warrior.
You're a warrior.
Yeah.
Warrior. Wow.
Um.
Yeah. Some good stuff here. It does suck that it's like put on pause,
Yeah.
like that. But
But that could theoretically though, and I think they're sort of teasing it next episode. Actually, give Brendan and
a
Taj.
new lease on
That
life.
was the biggest confusion. It's like, isn't that one of the first things you should square away? Is just make sure, yeah, we're still good,
Yeah,
right?
it's like a cross tribal thing.
It,
You don't get barely any contact with them. Like you get to the minor check-ins on Exile, and then
mhm,
they're left to talk with their own tribe. So yeah, when you get
right.
to the merge
So
and you don't touch base at all, and it's just like, oh yeah, we're playing really under the radar right now. We haven't even
yeah,
talked
like
to each other. Like this is
he
so
said
good.
that in a confessional, and
No
then
one will see it
Taj
coming.
and then Taj was even like, yeah, both of them were talking to their plus one, their confidants. You know, he said to Sierra, he's like, yeah, I don't know, she hasn't talked to us like at all. I don't know what's going on. I know Sierra thinks said that to him. She's like, yeah, she hasn't like talked to us at all, so I don't know what's going on. And it's like cuts over to Taj talking to Steven. She's like, I don't know what's going on. He hasn't said anything. I don't trust him anymore,
Because I
frankly.
don't understand
Um,
when you get to the merge, isn't your instinct would be to talk to everybody anyway, just a little bit.
right. Yeah.
So that just while you're talking, you're doing your standard talk. Then you can just throw it in there. Like, by the way,
Yeah.
we still on. Like, we still on for tonight. You got to check up on these plans.
Right. I get wanting to try to remain a little low key because you don't want to arouse too much suspicion because
Yeah,
people already think
sure.
you're conspiring with her. But like,
Just one check in.
surely, yeah. I mean, you'd think that like just something real small, real subtle. Like it could even just be like a look or a
Yeah.
wink or like something that no one else would notice. Right. Just make sure that no one else is looking, and then just kind of like do like
Yeah.
anything. But apparently not even that because
No.
like Taj is just straight up like, yeah, sure, we'll go with them. I don't trust
Brendan's
him anymore.
Brendan's schedule is always booked. He just does not have time to pencil you in. He's the kind
Because
of
that
guy.
was him
He's the
with
kind of guy who
Sierra
does
too,
not.
right?
He won't respond to a message for like weeks. You know.
Well, that was the
You
thing
know
with
that.
Sierra too. She was like, he didn't loop me in. Why didn't you loop me
That's
in
what I'm
on
saying.
anything?
Like,
It's like,
he
what
just
are
didn't
you
have
doing,
time with a
dude?
lot going on.
It's
Sitting
like,
over
I don't
here,
know.
sitting over there, grabbing some wood. Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. So now potentially they're rekindling the Exile Alliance here. We'll
Well, so
see.
much for that immunity win, Tyson. It's-
What a waste. Yeah. Wow.
what a waste.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I would be like, can I just hold on to this? Like I should be able to retain it until the next tribal
Yeah.
council.
Yeah. What the
And you get to
heck?
go to one tribal council with it.
So.
But yeah, so they were gonna. Well, the people not in the know, Brendan and well, actually, I don't know. 'Cause they floated JT out
Yeah.
as an
They
option.
flew. They flew GT out.
Yeah, so yeah,
Um,
so the ones not in the know, and Timbira thought it would be JT
mhm.
because Joe was gonna be injured. So
Right. So they were like, well, we can get rid of him whenever then. because
Yeah.
he won't be a threat during immunity challenges.
That's when it's like Brendan and Sierra. They were saying potentially voting for JT. So if we split the vote to prevent their votes won't matter at all then. If we split it on Brendan and Sierra.
Right.
If he plays the idol. Yeah. But yeah, we saw Coach immediately was really into JT. Really feeling the warrior.
Like instantaneously. He was really rubbing shoulders.
And then it's kind of like they both paired off. It's the main guy and the sidekicks. The main guys and the sidekicks paired off and talked to each other.
Yeah.
Steven and Tyson were talking.
Yeah. And then Tyson and JT also had some bonding moments too. So,
yeah. Yep.
Even though, JT was like, yeah, we were butting heads during that, but now we can come together during time of need if we need to.
He's a good old boy. That's pretty amazing.
Boy, yeah.
JT, just by existing, Coach and Tyson immediately were like, yeah, we're gonna work with that guy. And then he just brought along Steven as his +1.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah.
Nice little arrangement we got going here. Debbie looped in as well into that little alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan and Sierra sitting there. I don't know what they were doing, but they're sitting there.
At a loss.
Yeah, so the only I guess it didn't really matter because the vote didn't end up happening, but we didn't really get like a sense of what Taj wanted to do, did we?
Right,
it was
not
just,
really.
Like, the only content we got from her was about, no, we haven't talked about this Exile Alliance.
Well, that's why she was kind of like, yeah, let's just go with them then. She kind of had like resigned it to that at that point because she's like, he doesn't talk to me, so let's just go.
Which is wild how quick that can change because she was so passionate about this idea.
Yeah.
And just like that, he did not upkeep it at all, and it's just gone.
And it's in his interest to do that because he's in the position of power here. Like he's gonna be the one to reach out and like.
Yeah, well, you would think he is. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, he's actually gonna almost win home.
He's actually the most vulnerable potentially. But yeah. Yeah, because it's like they have the numbers, so it's like they're at their whim of what they choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're just gonna sit here and wait for the other. Keep it low key. I'll tell them in the next tribal. It won't matter because we'll all still be here, right? And then,
right.
And then, luckily, Joe
it's just
died
JT
in a helicopter crash, and
it's just JT. We're just getting rid of JT, so
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta. Like, it's crazy how often we see that in Survivor, where people just don't keep up with stuff, or like they don't check in enough. Just a little check in is a lot. It does a lot. You know, if you bring up an idea with someone you don't see for a few hours, and then you see your whole tribe separately, 24 hours a day, and you just don't touch base again, it's like, well. Yeah, you're gonna immediately have doubts. It's like, well, he's not giving me any look. He hasn't said anything. That's literally like what happened in Survivor China in that challenge where, what was her name? Sharia. She didn't give the look over to PG, so that she wanted to bail on her whole throwing the tribe challenge, just like that.
Yeah,
you gotta be aware of that.
Yeah,
not just like head down, working on the thing I'm working on.
Yeah.
Forza Tribe. Anything else from this merge episode?
Aaron and Joe discovered that Sierra or Brendan have the idol. They're just 3 steps behind everyone.
Yeah, and that whole Joe finding the fake idol for nothing. He just he's thinking like, damn, I wish I handed this idol off.
I wish I had the idol. It's like. Jeff's like, by the way, that was a fake idol. He just kicks him while he's down.
Yeah.
Well, dang.
Yeah. She told him that like you could lose your leg or you could die. There's a couple possibilities.
He gives it as a memento to the nurse who looked at him, and they fall in love because it's a
Yep.
meaningful gift.
Yep. That's
So
right.
that's the best ending as what could happen.
They're right
I mean,
off
I don't know
this.
what
It
Joe's.
just cuts the helicopter and they're just making out like in there, or it's immediate,
Yeah, immediately just like
and just it
let's
plays like
get
sad
this.
music as he's going out.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, that would have been
Bum
good. That would have been a
bum
moment from
bum
Joe. You know,
bum. But it would have been a moment from Joe. The
all
moment.
Joe did was have a little half-assed flirt situation with Sydney,
Yeah, and it
and then
was.
he found a fake idol, and then he fucked up his knee on a challenge that they lost, and then they sent him away. Yeah.
Yeah, when did he? Yeah, when did he get that injury again? I'm trying to
It was
remember
the
when
same
that.
challenge that JT lost his tooth.
Oh, he lost his tooth. Yeah.
And then JT
Oh,
was pissed
yeah.
because
Was it?
they lost it too. They lost
That
the
was the one
challenge.
in the water, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's no wonder it got all. Yeah, probably the bacteria in the water
yeah.
probably
I think it was that.
wasn't
I think I
great for
remember
the.
him saying it,
Yeah,
but I don't think he ever saw it. He
yeah,
was just like, "Oh, Joe
right.
fucked up his knee too."
Yeah,
Yeah, I do remember that.
yeah, yeah.
So who would you give your MVP for the episode?
I think the MVP is probably going to go Tyson.
Yeah,
Tyson's really
yeah.
bringing it this episode. I mean, Coach had his moments. That O
Beautiful.
Fortuna, the O Fortuna moment was like that was a really strong contender. Like that's just a perfect edit. Like I
Yeah,
mean, give it up to the Survivor crew for that.
that's
Like that
right.
was amazing. Um, but
Beautiful work.
Tyson just had a lot of great moments this episode. He's just one of the most aside from Coach. He's the most entertaining player as well. So it's like it's
Yeah.
just fun. Steven had his own few little moments with his eyes bugging out when they said that Joe was going home. He did like a triple
This can't
take.
be. Yeah. But
Yeah, Coach with the Dragon Slayer
the
is real
Dragon
close.
Slayer,
Real close. Yeah, calling
it's
himself a
raw.
Dragon
That's
Slayer.
raw. That's a raw title
Yeah.
right there.
Calling himself a Dragon Slayer, saying he brought the samurai look in.
Yeah, and he's got this
Well,
like
according to
the button up that he's been sporting the whole season. I think it has
Mhm.
kind of like little dragons on it, or
Yeah.
some sort of creature like that. And it's like, yeah, open chest. He's just got such an intensity about everything he says.
Yeah, and he thinks he's like, yeah, I'm a coach, but also a conductor of an orchestra.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And wears a lot of hats, and he does some fly fishing as well because he loves the art of the cast. He loves.
He loves that, but he won't stand around flicking a rod.
No.
Holding a rod and having nothing going on with it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so weird that he said that. You get that, Debbie?
Yeah.
Like, why are you calling out her? What the? What do you? What's that? What do you mean? That's weird. It's
You get
bizarre
that,
thing to.
yeah.
But no, Tyson for all the reasons we talked about earlier. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, fun episode. And everybody come together here. And I mean, shout out to them too, because if it weren't for them, we'd probably have a boring vote on our hands, you know?
Yeah. True.
And well, even if it was going to be a boring vote, it'd be even more boring because it'd be Joe getting medically evacuated. But because of them, and they're already making big alliances across tribal, then
yeah.
I
thought that was like
here.
That's so fun that was like instantaneous. It was just like, yeah, we're getting rid of Brendan.
JT's
it's just like
JT's like it hadn't been 15 minutes. He's talking to me about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
JT's like got that aura. That aura that just.
I guess so. That warrior.
Warrior. Warriors. Wow.
Good stuff.
And yes, it'll be interesting to see. It'll come to a head in the next episode here. Let's see where we go from here. All right. So subscribe to the channel for more Survivor every week, as well as movie reviews, TV reviews, discussions, podcasts, a variety of nonsense. All right. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you go check out episode 3 of Survivor China, Sister Christian.
Okay.
All right.
There she is. Yeah. Get her out of here because she won't pray. She won't respect their culture.
No.
This is not a prayer. Well, I don't know, Jeff. It's looked
Sure
like a prayer
feels
to
like
me.
one to
So.
me. So, all right. Like, how about you ask God, Jeff? How about you do that? I think he might know a little better than you. So,
Yeah.
all right. All right, there you go. Another one.
Cool.
Another one bites the dust.
Another
This
one
time
bites
was
the dust.
fatal.
Another
This
one.
time was a fatal one, though.
Yeah. Wow.
Joe would not make the,
Rough.
the ride home.
No, that's rough.
Sad.
That's horrible.
Imagine,
Imagine if I just believed you. I'm just like, whoa.
imagine they
Just
say
like
you could die out here if you stay here, and he's like, okay, if I have to, and he dies because he leaves there.
because
There's
the
some
irony.
irony of it.
That is
Tragic
irony. That's cruel irony right there.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you for watching, and take
Mhm.
care. Right.
All right.